To remove the forks, if it's flush like this, loosen these bolts up. So you can loosen this up, then you can loosen these up. Otherwise you're going to have a hard time getting that loose. Both sides, you might have to loosen the handlebars. You usually see something like this. These are 8, these are usually 10. Your torque's usually in the 12 to 15 pound range. You'll have a bracket over here, something in the axle here, like that, okay, and always put that guard back on for your rotor, because you really don't want a bent rotor. Everything's typically 2 bolts, might be 3, usually only goes together one way. So we get this free of any brackets. We make a note of how these things mount so you don't have to do it 3 times. You might have to pry this a little bit once you get it loose, so this will slide down. So I have to take this bracket off. Normally you wouldn't, but I have to because this entire bike has been Loctited together. And I have to clean all the threads off of everything. So this is after it got power washed. So now we got to get it all clean. Then we're going to pry this seal up, and we'll find a clip underneath there that we'll remove. See that? So that's what you remove. Well, the oil's clean, that's a good sign. See that nut? You got to hold that and turn that. That'll free these loose. So the oil's clean, but it's 7 inches down to the oil, and it should be in the 3.5 inch range. Around 105 millimeters on this bike. Your bike could be something different. It's 105 on this bike, plus or minus whatever's right for you. You can go up or down about 1.5 inches. I'm not going to get into volume because what you're really measuring is the oil height from the top. So we don't care that it takes a pint, because we're looking for a number in relationship to how and what we're riding. So once you got that clip out, you grab this, and start yanking the 2 apart. And this will just slide out. That's how everyone I ever worked on did. I am not going to do that because I've cleaned it out, and I'm going to put oil in it and see how things are working, because I don't know really what kind of a bike I've got here. And if the seals aren't leaking and it's okay, then I'll leave it alone. If the forks are too stiff or whatever, I'll make those adjustments. But that's how you separate these two, is you get that clip out and then just start pulling the 2 pieces real hard. So to get this swing arm off, you got to remove this bolt that passed through here and here. And there's one down here, which is typical. Okay. And then the shock up here, and then you can remove this all as one unit, see? Alright. It's going to be a mess. You'll never get this screw out of here with the engine in place, because these are too long. So I cut that one down. So in the future, for some reason, if I need to get this off, I can get that screw out, because you'll never get it out with the length it has stock. So I would urge you to stuff something down here, so when you go to put washers and nuts and cotter pins in there, they don't drop down inside that gap down there. Okay? So the shaft comes through, move that Allen head. That engages the power valve itself. It's hinged there. I took these off, but I couldn't pull this unit back. I don't have a manual. I'm unconcerned about it. Everything moves properly. Pay attention to the photos I published. There's a notch on here, on this, and there's a dot on the gear. And obviously you want to make those line up. When I took this apart, they were off by a notch, which might explain the strange hit, like a light switch. The power was pretty weak off the bottom until you got up to say 6th hour or so, and then it really comes on strong. That should be cured now. It should come on more smoothly. Pay attention to those 2 marks. So the power valve cover slides on like that. For your perusal, then this mounts through the fender. This gets routed up and through here. See that grommet? That's the correct positioning for this. This stuff is in forward. Here's your wiring. And I'm going to use a tie wrap, but anyhow, that's basically what it wants to look like. Someone cut that. That's what I believe the cabling should be. So here's your clutch going up between the radiator. Okay. And the throttle is going through here. Okay. And coming up, through the triple clamp, right? I'll let you watch your own tire mounting videos, but sometimes the bead won't set. See here, right through here? It looks different than up here, right? And right here. So I've sprayed WD on it, same thing on the other side. Twice. I've inflated it to 50 pounds and it hasn't popped up. So I'm going to do that one more time. And if that doesn't work and it looks more or less the same, then I'm just going to write it, and sometimes that helps. Also, hitting it with something like a dead blow hammer can help, but don't hit it with a ball peen because you don't want to hit here. Use some wood. But you can bead on this, which I've already done. And sometimes that helps. But WD-40, soap and water is just fine. Don't worry about it slipping. Don't use a rim lock. I've never seen one of these slip. You can leave the Schrader valve out and just repeatedly fill it and deflate it, and that can help bring it up. I just did that. The other side's okay. I got a little bit right here. I've got about 50 pounds of air in the tire. I'll just let it sit for a while, and then I'll use it. So I never had this much of a problem. This is a Sedona MX880, 48 bucks delivered. Well, this is what that threaded shaft looks like. This has to be disconnected so you can work with this. It's kind of tedious. Okay, that goes through. You got a collar there with a little dust cover. And there's a spacer in there. A little tedious. Well, we're out in the wilderness doing a shakedown. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of these trees dying, and they're primarily cedar. They were all alive 3 months ago. I don't know what's going on. It's not the drought. It might be the drought enhanced it, and there's a bug in them. It's all over, and it's not cool. Well, we're going to go for a long ride today. And I'm almost out of a memory stick, so we better get going. Well, right out there is the high peaks with the snow. I doubt if you can see that, but they're back there. You might see some brown. That's all these cedar trees I'm talking about. Like out over there, perhaps. Up on the left side of that ridge below the bald rock. All out in here down below. Anything that's not green is dead. And 90% of that was alive 3 months ago. So the San Joaquin River is winding up this gorge in here. So Mammoth Pool is back there some more. Well, I'm pleasantly lost. But you might see some bare rock out there. I've made videos on that rock. That's where the turtles are. And then I live about half a mile to the right in a straight line, a little more. Almost out of memory stick. See all that dead stuff going across here? Out of memory stick. Time to go home. Nice day. Got about an hour and a half in here. Good shakedown.